breaks today. Former President Donald Trump says he was informed that he is the target of an investigation from the Department of Justice into Trump's alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election. It's an indication that the former president could soon face new charges from U.S. prosecutors. It would also add to a long list of existing state and federal investigations. Right now, WSFA 12 News White House correspondent John Decker is joining us live to break down exactly what all of this means. John, Trump says he was made aware of this in the form of a target letter. Explain exactly what that is.
A target letter is a communication between the Department of Justice and an individual indicating to that individual that investigators have enough evidence tying that individual to a crime or crimes. And it's the precursor to an indictment. Indictments typically follow target letters. It gives an indication to an individual that they ought to get their house in order, hire a criminal defense lawyer. It also gives them the opportunity to testify if they wish to do so before that grand jury. Donald Trump likely will not do so anytime soon.
We heard this news from the former president, now presidential candidate himself. Have we confirmed this yet through the DOJ?
The DOJ has not put out a statement confirming what Donald Trump has put out there on his social media sites, Truth Social. However, Donald Trump's lawyers have confirmed what the former president has put out there on social media. So I don't think we're going to hear from the DOJ. Likely, we will not hear from the DOJ at all until there is an indictment that is actually put forward by this grand jury once they vote on it, which could be in a matter of weeks or it could even be in a matter of days.
Let's talk a little bit about that indictment. If the grand jury were to indict the former president, what would the charges be? What could they possibly be?
Well, that's a good way to put it. What could they possibly be? We know that their investigation concerns the events leading up to January 6th, all of the actions that were taken by the former president in the days and weeks leading up to January 6th, as well as his actions on January 6th itself. So we could be looking at the possibility of conspiracy to defraud the United States of America. That may have to do with that elector scheme. In addition to that, lying to federal investigators, and on top of that, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. That is what happened on January 6th. The counting of electoral college votes, that also could possibly work its way into charges being brought forth by the grand jury.
John, this is just the latest in a string of charges and investigations into former President Trump. Where would you say this ranks as far as what's at stake here?
Well, this is very serious. This is not along the lines of what we saw and what we will see take place up in Manhattan. That hush money payment, that is a different thing entirely, nor is it like what we saw with the classified documents case, which some Republicans defending the president call this very political. This is very different. It's difficult to defend the actions of the president as it relates to January 6th. Even Speaker Kevin McCarthy criticized Donald Trump in just the week after January 6th, saying he is responsible for that riot that took place at the Capitol. He's changed his tune since then, but that's what he said in the immediate aftermath of that. So this is a very serious day for Donald Trump, and of course he still is facing ongoing investigations, including one taking place in Fulton County, Georgia. That relates to efforts to overturn the 2020 election in the state of Georgia. That investigation continues.
And you say it's really hard to defend the former president in this particular case. What are the implications politically as this moves forward?
It's counterintuitive, Bethany, in the sense that every time we see a case being brought against the former president, his poll numbers among Republicans go up, his fundraising numbers go up, but I don't think that this is good news for the former president in the long term, and that's trying to win back the White House, in the sense that, yes, maybe Republicans are circling the wagons around him, but independents are not doing that. And it's independents that the former president needs to win over if he's going to win back the White House next year.
All right. Our White House correspondent, John Decker, live from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for your insight and your time today, John.
Thank you, Bethany.
Of course, we'll have much more on this coming up on First at 4 and on NBC Nightly News. Right